Hello, welcome to Alchemy YouTube channel. Today we are going to start a new series called Tamed, a Blackened Slave Man. Let's begin. The story begins with a slap. A guy named Damien, who is the Archduke, hit his fiancée Marine because of another girl, and he is in love with that girl instead of his fiancée. But now Orion don't care about anything. The only emotion she is left with is neither love, hatred, nor jealousy, but only annoyance. 4 years ago, she was fallen in love with Cain at first sight, and it was so deep that every day she chased after him like a fool. But Cain is not interested in her. In a rainy day she is following him. Cain said, "Are you not tired? Even on a bad day like this, you still choose to follow me?" She replied, "Sorry, if this makes him uncomfortable." But she wanted to see him. He threw the umbrella in the air from her hand. But suddenly Damien fall on the ground due to an illness that had been tormenting him for a long time. She managed to catch his attention by curing the illness. She is from the Sersha family, which is protected by the royal family. Those who are born in that family inherit the ability of healing. Upon witnessing her abilities, Damien immediately made a marriage proposal to her. She was very happy after hearing this, that he want to marry her. But deep inside she knew that this engagement is happening because Cain is seeing his benefit in this. But she thought he would look at her if she tried hard. But he is postponing the wedding every time, by making an excuse of his disease. And it was the only time she was able to touch his body. But one day he arrived with a woman named Lillian. She was in his arms, and he shouting for Orion, because of her healing abilities, and asking her to treat this woman. Orion treated her, and after taking some rest Lillian woke up, and Damien was very happy after seeing this. And after some days Orion was going to her room, but someone is there already. After opening the gate she found her fiancé Damien, and Lillian was doing something indecent. That was when Orion lost all of her feelings towards Damien, and thought that 3 years of hard work turned out to be a waste of time. But deep down she knows that this going to happen. But she denied it only because she loved the man in front of her. But now she made up his mind that if this is the way things are going to be, then let's end this engagement. Damien is very shocked and angry at the same time. She threw her ring on the ground and starting to move on the other direction. He grabbed her hand and asked, "What does she mean about breaking the engagement? Why are you acting like this all of a sudden?" She replied that she is no longer the foolish woman of the house Sersha, and she is no more in love with him, so let's end this. And she started to move away from him. But Damien can't accept that he was rejected by a girl, so he pierced her heart by his sword, and said that he expected her to be an obedient girl, who would simply listen to what he say. And he can't allow others to use her healing abilities without his consent. At the last breath, she was regretting, why did she fall in love with him so foolishly? Someone who is even lower than trash. She wished that, if she could go back in time, she would never repeat that mistake again, and she will do the same to him. And then she woke up in her father's home. She is in shock because her father was passed away 2 years ago. He is wishing her happy birthday, and he was worried because she was sleeping as she is dead. She asked her father birthday, "What do you mean, father?" He replied with a laugh that, "You are still not full awake yet, come on, get up." She is thinking then tis means all of that horrible memories are just dream. She asked her father that, "What year is it now?" He replied, "Aren't we in the 829th year of the imperial calendar?" Then she realized she came back to her birthday 4 years ago. She asked, "Is he really her father?" He replied, "Of course this is your father Orion." Her father was very kind and a gentle man. He is a father who always listens to what his only daughter has to say. He gave her many gifts before going to war, and then he disappeared like her mother. But now he is in front of him. She hugged him and started crying loudly. She is very happy that he is alive, and it is not a dream. Her father thought that maybe she saw a nightmare. He asked the chef to prepare food according to her preferences, so get ready and come to dining table. She thought, this is a chance she can never miss. And one good thing is that Damien now have a disease that even famous doctors can't cure. and she is the only one who can treat him, and she thought, perhaps she can use this opportunity against that bastard, and lead him to his demise. But if she goes without any preparation, he will surely destroy her first, so, first of all she needs someone who can protect her family and fight for him. There is only a single person who is stronger than Diamond in this empire. A man who came from slavery but caught the attention of the crown prince, and became the leader of the knights in the empire. He was referred as the god of war. Crown Prince closest aide, God bless beauty, a genius swordsman who only appears once every 1,000 years. Cassadian is the person who can go to the battlefield and come back alive in one piece. In the entire continent, Cassidan is the only capable person. Currently Cassidan is a slave and a gladiator. But after a year, the crown prince will know him, and he will brought into the imperial family. So she need to find him before crown prince, and take care of him and feed him, and train him well, so that he becomes the sword that protects her family. For the sake of her father and himself, she is ready to exploit others. Next they are eating food, and there is too much food. Her asked her if she needs anything. He bought her some dresses and jewelry. She replied with a smile that she wants a younger brother. After hearing this, her father puked all of the food back cup. He is in a panic situation, and said, "Are you asking me to get married again?" She replied no, she is thinking of adopting a little brother, and asked if he trusts her. Her father replied in a calm state that she is the only one he trusts, but this sudden desire for younger brother is quite confusing. In the empire, whenever war breaks out, one man from each family must go to the battlefield, and who disobey this rule, they have to lose their property, title, and it could even result in the death penalty. So, she is thinking about Cassidan. They just have to keep him by her side, and treat him well, and whenever there is war, he can go and place her father as her younger brother, and Cassidan is the only person capable of defeating Damien, because in her past memories, he was the youngest warrior commander of the knights. Her father said that his only family is Orion. Then she starts to explain that it maybe sounds strange, but just think about it. If others came to know about their healing abilities, it would be dangerous for them. However, if they brought a strong person to their family, they can avoid any unfortunate events that might happen. So please, I will bring a child who is strong and obedient enough to protect family. And I'm sure you will love him too. He agreed to her request and said, "There must be a deep meaning behind your decision, because since childhood you've been smarter than anyone, so whoever it is, bring him to see Dad first. But remember, you need to bring a suitable man for us." Next, her servant Sasha is preparing her for her departure, and asked, "Today is the lady's birthday, so where do you plan on going?" She replied with smiling face there is something she needed to do. After some time she arrived at wrestling arena. But fortunately there is no one from the royal family. It is a good opportunity to take the initiative before the crown prince does. Next they asked for the seat with the best view, and gave some gold coins for that, and she apologized for cutting in line. In return, please let them pay for everyone else. The counterman was very shocked after hearing this. In mind she thought about having plenty money, because they are the healers of imperial family. Therefore the house Saoirse received protection and became wealthy for generations, and only the imperial family knows about their healing ability. The counterman welcoming her and clearing the way for them. In audience some people are talking about a guy with shiny silver hair, and he is very skilled at fighting. After some time she saw him, and Cassidan moved his head upward. Then they both are started to seeing each other. Orion was shocked after seeing Cassidan, because he is the prettiest man she have ever seen. Well, the status of being a slave fighter has nothing to do with appearance. Everyone in arena is shouting to get the match start. Next the referee is about to start the game. But before that he explained the game rules. They threw some weapons on the ground, and said that there is only one rule: just kill your opponents and survive until the end. Orion is thinking, it turns out that they don't see slaves as a human. Slavery is just a pastime. If they become useless, they will be thrown away. The match began, and every slave started to kill each other, but Cassidan stayed still. Everyone in the crowd was very happy by seeing them killing each other. Suddenly one of the slave moves towards Kassadin to kill him, but Kassadin dodged that attack, and killed that slave in one hit, and other remaining slaves are also dead, and the only person alive is Kassadin. Everyone is cheering for him, but Orion was sad after seeing that. The people in the arena enjoyed watching them killing each other. Next, referee announced him as a winner of this match, and said that they are giving a chance to the guest with the highest payment to spend a hot night with him. Orion was in shock after hearing this, but on the other hand everyone started to bid, and the highest bid was of 500,000 gold coins by an old man, but Orion bid 500 million gold coins for him, but not for a night. That is the price of buying all his life, and asked if 500 million is enough or not. Everyone is surprised. After hearing such high price for a slave, referee replied and he said yes, that's more than enough. Then Kassadin left with her, and she is telling him something. However, Kassadin started to remove his clothes. She asked him, what are you doing right now? He replied that didn't she buy him to do this, so he started to serve him. She said that she didn't bring him so that he could serve her at night. He is confused after hearing this, and asked what is she talking about, and why did you buy me then? She said because she can't pretend not to see those, which was begging for help, and she took his hand and said, no matter how strong he is, he still have scars on his hands. And she was going to him and let him live freely, but if she do that, then he will be dragged to the arena again. Next she healed his scars from his hand. He asked what is this? She replied this is secret magic which is passed down in her family. He asked master, why would you use such a precious thing for him? With a smile she said, no matter how precious it is, it can't be compared to human life. He said that he killed a lot of people. She is comforting him that it was just your reluctant choice for you to live. It's not you killed people because you want to. But how did you end up as a slave fighter? What about your family? He said he have no family. They all died a long time ago. He wandered everywhere all alone, and in the end eventually drifted to the arena. Next he asked his master a question. What kind of person you are, master? She replied with a smile, that she is Serkia's only daughter. After she was born her mother died. She asked him his age. He was 18 years old, and Orion is 2 years older than him. Then after some time she asked, how would you feel if you become my younger brother? Kassadin didn't understand what is she trying to say by this. She said like, throw away your slave status and become a member of the Earl's house. If that's the case then you won't have to live such a tragic life anymore. You don't have to kill anyone and no one will disrespect you again. So, will you be my family, Kassadin? He agreed with it by saying, if that's what master wants then yes. Then they introduce each other again. And he accepts her as a sister by saying, thank you sister, you are truly a warm-hearted person. Orion thought that it is strange he accepted it very quickly. Could it be because he has the ability to adapt to new environments quickly? But in the end, the fact that she let Kassadin come to this family is only to protect her family. What he thinks is not important to her. He is just her sword and shield. Next she introduced him to her father, but he was very angry after hearing that he is a slave. Even if she let him be her bodyguard, it's crazy enough. But her brother. She apologized for doing this, but she explained him what is she thinking. If one day war broke out, isn't the only man in our family who his father will have to go to war. But if there is another man in our house, it can be avoided, and he was someone with outstanding ability, so he can return safely from the battlefield. He asked, so, this the reason you suddenly came up with a younger brother idea? He apologized for being angry. Now he understood what she is trying to do, but he needs some time alone to settle his thoughts on this matter. She came out from his father's room. She saw outside there as the sun turns red. At the same time when sun is red she was killed by Damien, and it always remind her about not forgetting who killed her. That's why she can't lose Kassadin, because he is the only one who is going to be stronger than him. Next Kassadin took a bath, and Orion asked to bring some food up to this room for them. Next, after wearing clothes, Kassadin said that he is definitely going to prove his worth. She asked him if he need anything else, so he asked her for a sword. Because he is living with a sword for a long time, it makes him comfortable. and a sword is enough for him. He don't need anything else. Whatever is happening to him is already like a dream to him. But he have something to tell her. Looks like he already like her. From the first time he met her, he couldn't take his eyes off from her. So, if it's a dream he never want to wake up, she thought it's only been a day since they met. But he already knows how to tease others with his tongue. As expected, there's a reason why he expected all of this so easily. She said there is no that she is going to leave him, and it would be better to just go along with him, and I will treat you tenderly and warmly, more than anyone. So just take a rest today and don't worry. Her room is next door, so you can come whenever you want. Orion was reading a book about herbs and potions that grow only in northern region, but without a doctor, it will be very difficult to find them. 19 years earlier, around this time last year, the emperor's illness was completely cured. As a result, her family became even richer. And everyone in the nobility whispers to each other that her family is hiding a mineral mine. And when she was 20 years old, at the crown's prince's birthday party, she met Damien, and after that all of her family's huge money flows into Damien's hands, and finally she had to suffer a tragic end. And currently it's time, exactly 1 month before the crown prince's birthday party. So, if the enemy is Damien, then she have to learn more things. Baku's the northern region was Damien's territory. That's why she can't lose even the smallest piece of information. Next, her door was knocked. It was Kassadin, and he wanted to say something to her. She thought at this late time in the night, she gave him permission to enter. He said even though he know it's not allowed to come here late at night like this, but since he couldn't sleep, and he remembers that earlier she said he can come whenever he want, she said no problem, she is just reading a book, so, just anywhere you felt comfortable. He asked which book you are reading. She said it is the Medicines of the North, and she said it turns out, you know how to read. Reading and writing are the rituals of the nobility, so she had to memorize a lot of things in order to survive. But in the empire, slaves didn't have the opportunity to read, not even the chance to learn or read, and the more knowledgeable the slave, then harder it gets to manage them. But he reads it so naturally, so she guessed there is no need to ask him, because it looks like he can't trust her yet. She said you must have been very tired, so just take a rest, and nothing bad is going to happen with you, he said. He can't sleep because he was restless, but if you are okay, then can we sleep together? She thought maybe he is testing her. Then she just have to prove to him that she don't worry of him, that's all, and said if that's what you want, so be it, come here. It seems that because you changed your sleeping place, you felt uneasy. He replied that might be a case, but mostly every night the people he killed appeared in his dreams. They crawled to his side with blood all over their bodies and whispered, why did he kill them? She comforted him by saying it is not his fault. You only did this to survive in this world. At least you feel sorry for the dead, right? He said however killing is still killing. She said that it wasn't called slaughter. It was just an action of you using a sword to help you protect yourself. This is the first time in Orion life about hearing something like this. And she wants to know what kind of life he lived until now. He said with a bright smile that there's only one person in the arena, and that's you, the only one who shines so brightly. So seeing you up close like this makes his day even more brighter, so thank you for bringing me here. After some time, she is acting of being in sleep, but she felt eyes on herself. Kassadin was watching him consistently. He is moving his hand in Orion hair, and said I hope you have a nice dream, sister. But it turns out he was a liar. Just like how she pretended to be a gentle person, same goes for Kassadin. Since he had encountered so many dangerous things in the arena, it was only natural for him to act like that. And she also don't expect him to believe her in the first place. She is just waiting for him to naturally become part of her family, and she is definitely going to meet Damien at the birthday party. Until then she have Tio officially put Kassadin in her family and tame him. But she don't know anything about Kassadin, even if she tried to search through the memories of her past life. But at that time he was just quietly standing behind him, so she needs to investigate Kassadin, and after that he can do anything. She will put in his hand, Next morning Sasha came to tell Orion that his father asked her to see Orion. She said okay, I will get there. But where is Cassidon? He is not in his room. Next Orion goes to meet her father, and saw that Cassidon is covered all over in blood. Her father gave him a task to complete. Only after he completes several tests, he allowed to be the young master. So the first task he gave his to bring a herb from northern region. He checked it, and there's no mistake. This smell is really the smell of the northern shank that he talked about. Orion said, isn't it a herb that grows only in caves on the steep cliffs of the west? And there were rumors that those caves were inhabited by monsters. Orion asked, why would Cassidon found this thing back? Her father replied that he was thinking all night about Cassidon, and finally came up with decision that if he passes his few challenges, he can join our family. So, he passed the first challenge. Orion said that she thinks there's no need for the next challenge. Bacchus, no matter what challenge you give Cassidon, he is going to pass them, because he also brought the herbs back, and he proven his worth enough. So please allow Cassidon to enter this family as her younger brother. He will surely become the pride of our family. And she was the one who brought Cassidon back, and if only because of his status as a slave, you wouldn't accept him, then, please also drive me out of this family. Both of them are in shock. After hearing that, he asked, why do you value a slave so much? She replied that humans are not just faces. You like to drink herbal tea, but the place where the herbs are grown is the slave farm. And most of the slaves are just nobles from other countries. They were trampled by the empire and stripped of their titles overnight. They don't only have to leave all of their property behind, but all had to live like slaves. So the title is just a useless thing. And Cassidon is just a human just like us. So please allow him to enter our family. Next, after hearing all of this, he allowed him to join their family. And she asked Cassidon to help her in the future, and Cassidon said that he also hoped her to take care of her too, and father also. After hearing father from Cassidon's mouth, Orion father feels uneasy. But in the end he accepted him. After some time Cassidon is taking a bath, and thinking about earlier, that what Orion said about him to her father, about if he don't accept him then she also wants to drive out from the family. And thought that his sister is truly a strange woman. And thinking about his sister, when they were both in the bad, and he knows that she was clearly up that time, but because of him she had turned into a grumpy kid. But whatever the case, he just wants to take advantage of her, and for that he is ready to do whatever it takes. Next day Orion goes to market, to buy a sword for Cassidon. Shop owner welcomes her, and she is thinking that, since Cassidon said he likes swords, so she will buy one as an anniversary gift to mark him becoming a member of this family. She found one sword which seems convenient to hold, and looks very convenient to use too, and the shopkeeper tells her about the origin of the sword, and there is so many to say about it. This sword is used to be the sword that was used by the late Prince of Kingdom Hiron, which was perished. She asked how could such a good sword be unsold and covered in dust like this. She bought the sword because it seems to fit Cassidon quite well. Next she returned to home, and entered into Cassidon's room, and he is drying himself after taking a bath. She said that she was a bit worried because she didn't hear his voice. He apologized to her for not replying earlier. Next she gave him the box. He asked what is this and opened it, and found a sword. But after seeing the sword he asked with a serious face, where did she found it? She replied she bought it from the nearby store, and thought that it might suit him. He asked where is the sheath of this sword. Apparently there is a cover that comes with it. She asked that how did he know that. He said normally daggers like this would come with their sheaths. Furthermore, it was strange that a sword as good as this had no outer sheath. After hearing all of this she said according to the shop owner, its sheath had been lost for a long time. And the shop owner also said that this sword was once used by a perished kingdom's prince. And it's Kingdom Hiron that he mentioned. She asked how about if she gets someone to make a sheath for it. But he said that she don't need to do that. He used to try all of the swords back then at the arena, so he think it's fine if a sword has no sheath. Moreover, isn't this as a gift from her, so he already like this as it is. She once again welcomed him to be a part of her family. He said thank you and that this is too much for him. And meeting her is the luckiest thing he have experienced in his whole life. If it weren't for her, he would probably still be in the arena right now. And he don't want to forget this warmth. She was like an angel to him who fell from the sky. She again thanked him for becoming a part of her family, but normally sister and brother won't be having such a tight hug. He said seems like he have made a mistake. She comforted him by saying, if he feel tired, he can rely on her whenever he want. But she knows that he was doing acting of becoming a good brother, and all he is telling her was lies, and thinking in his eyes how stupid she is. But she want to protect her family, and Cassidy is the only one who can protect them, so she decided to continue the act of a gentle and stupid girl for him, and she said if he can't sleep at night, she will sing him a lullaby, and during the day. Let's go to the garden full of flowers, so, in the coming days you will only going to live in happiness. And she is going to fill his life with colors. After that he asked, if that's the case then can he come to her room again? She said with smile, of course he can, she will hold his hand until he fell asleep. Cassidy asked, but that's not what a normal sister and brother does? Orion said if that's the case then let's make an unusual pair of siblings. So, what will be the end of this strange sister-brother relationship? In the night he asked why would she bring him here in this family, if she knew that she could be kicked out. Orion replied that she promised to him that she will never throwing him away. That's why she did that, and the other reason is that she don't want to see the scene where he was thrown away, and you are crying. And no matter how, Orion want him to be happy. After hearing that Cassidy said he is very happy, so just sleep tight sister. Orion was again doing an acting of falling asleep, and he continuously stared towards her. After some time she fall asleep, and saw a dream in which Damien appeared and killed her. And next she woke up in the morning. Her mood is really bad after seeing that dream, and Cassidy had left at midnight, but why is there a book missing? Next Sasha came to the room and told her that she did some investigation, and found something strange, that maybe Cassidy is not originally a slave. Shockingly she asked, what do you mean explain this properly? Sasha said she met a merchant who told her that the one who was said to have owned Cassidy for the first time a few years ago, he found Cassidy lying on the solitary street wearing expensive clothes. So they thought he came from a prestigious family. And his first impression was very nervous when they first met him. And it doesn't seem like a lie. Orion also thought that she is right, because Cassidy know how to read and write, and literature is not something that can be forced to learn. Unless you were born noble from the beginning. So she thought maybe his family was dead, and he is all alone now, so she must be kinder to him from now on. She thanked Sasha and gave her a necklace as a present, but she declined the present, and said that she didn't do it to get something in return. And it's enough for her that she was able to help her. Orion thanked Sasha for her kindness, and said you must be tired Sasha, so just take a break for today, and she gave her the full accessories box. She was not accepting that box in the starting, but at the end she accepted it. Orion thought that Sasha was the first one who noticed some change in her behavior, and it would be strange not to change after coming back alive from the edge of death. Sasha is nice, and thought if there was even one decent maid in Damien's house, would the situation change a little? But she knows that would not be the case, because he didn't even listen to her. Then what could a maid even do? She remembered that she was just like a trapped bird inside a cage, and Damien would whisper all kinds of sweet words only when she treated him. And all the other time he ignored her, so she is thinking what kind of expression should she show on the Crown Prince's birthday, when she meet Damien? After some time Cassidy and Orion are walking into garden, and Cassidy said it's very beautiful, especially the blue flowers that resemble his sister, because unlike red roses, blue roses are extremely rare, that's why blue flowers are called impossible in the language of flowers. It's the first time he have seen them in person. He said they are so beautiful just like you my sister. Orion said even if the flower is rare, what's the point if you are going to lose it? From the moment it withers, it becomes a problem for the gardener only. He said he didn't mean it in that way. Orion replied, yes, I know that, I just wanted to tell you. Comparing people to flowers can make them feel insulted, it all depends on the listener. He said he will keep that in mind. Orion asked Cassidy if he knows about a book that was missing from her bookshelf. He asked a missing book? She said while looking sharply towards him that maybe someone has stolen it. He replied, well, it wasn't even a very important book. She asked, do you remember? It was the book she last read. Its title was about northern herbs. Cassidy said, if you allow me, I can help you find it. She said that you're the only one who can sneak into my room while I'm asleep. She is thinking he comes to my room every night and whisper lies with that bright smile. And the words he spoke when he saw the blue rose, they were all lies. And he has been pretending from the moment they first met. But she could not understand why he was so devoted to the crown prince. In her past memories? After that few days passes, Orion's father was recorded him officially. And her father told him that, not to tell anyone that he was once a slave. Everyone in the crowd was looking at him. He is looking so handsome to everyone. Everyone thought that he must belong to a noble family. And is it a human face or a work of art? Orion thought that no one would even believe that he was once a slave. She asked him what was his father like? He said his father was very kind and his mother was stronger than anyone else. They were good people, and he don't have any siblings. And he was truly happy to be able to go out with his sister like this. She asked, is there anything he want or need? After holding her hand he said, all he wants is to stay happy with his sister like this. After some time she told him about a crown prince birthday banquet, which is just a week ahead. And their family is invited every year for any event held at the imperial palace. This time, her father said he can't attend because of his palace duties. So if you decide to go instead of him. By holding her in his hands he said, please take me with you too, sister. And if it's the imperial palace, how will many other people attend? But he feared that someone else might steal his sister away from him. She comforted him by saying she would take him with her no matter what, and don't worry, no one else will steal her away. Everyone from the crowd is watching them with blushy faces. And he said, sister, you don't realize how charming you are. She said she will do whatever he want, unless he keep testing him. Cassidy surprisingly said he didn't testing her, it's the first time he have felt this warmth, and he did all of this because he loves her. And I didn't tested you even once, she asked. Then why did you steal the book? The book that disappeared 3 weeks ago. She knows that he stole that book and returned it to her bookshelf. And you are the only one entered into my room that night. So, it's clear that it was you? At that time she thought he had his reasons behind this, and what matters to her isn't that he stole the book. But he lied to her. He asked if she knew everything from the beginning. Why didn't she punish him for that? She said with a gentle smile, because you're a precious member of our family. He held her hand very tightly and said for him, sister is like a ray of light that saved him. So, he is not going to lie to her again. She said she can lend him any book he want. And also suggest something useful for him. He thanked her for that and asked. He was wondering what kind of book his sister was reading. If he knew this would happen, he would have told her the truth from the beginning. She said, choose what you want from this market, and tell her everything he needs. He said there is one thing he want. She asked what is it? He said it was you, my sister. For a while after that day, Cassidy didn't come to her room at night. 2 days before the crown prince's birthday, she was reading an article about Damien, in that he won the 829 imperial tournament. She can't believe that he won the tournament with that body. The beast remains the beast. Who from the depths would believe he's ailing from heart disease? Earlier, she was chasing him for a year, and she only noticed his disease when he collapsed in front of her. Suddenly she noticed someone is standing at the door. I was Cassidy. She asked him, why haven't you been coming here at night lately? He asked with a smile, were you waiting for me? She said yes. He was glad after hearing that she was waiting for him. Earlier you said you can't sleep. Is your worry gone now? He said yes, thanks to his sister, but he still preferred to be with his sister. She said if others find out that you are coming to my room at night, you will get into trouble. Cassidy replied that's why he come back before dawn. But Orion said if you don't want me to get into trouble, don't come here like this at night. He said with flirty sound that it's good to see my sister during the day, but he also loves seeing her at night. It's always nice to see her reflection in the faint moonlight. And your blue eyes that look like a calm lake. When I look into your deep violet eyes, I also think a lot. Especially when you're frowning and staring into space. It makes him wonder what she is thinking, so, all I can think about is you, my sister. She said she saw someone leaving the palace in the middle of the night a few days ago. And it was you. What are you doing at that time? He said he just needed some fresh air. She knows that he was lying because Sasha told her that he didn't return before dawn. But she said to him that if you say so, then it must be true. After that night of lies, morning finally came. Next day everyone is in hurry for the preparation of Crown Prince's birthday. All the maids are preparing Orion for the birthday party, and all the maids are very happy, because she is looking extremely beautiful. And they said, certainly, Our Lady is the main character of today's banquet. Everyone will envy the person you dance with. But she said it seems that the main character of the day will be Cassidy. He said for a moment he thought he saw an angel. Then they both left for the banquet. That's all for today's video. If you want to know what happened next, then like and subscribe. Alchemy Animation YouTube channel.